put the sword all the way
Yes.
through it.
There you go. Exactly. Hello, everybody. It's the Preston and Danny show. And before we get too far involved, I want to go over a success story here. I always like covering success stories. So, Danny, I don't know if you remember, Skinny came on a few times on our, and he
Yeah,
got
he's
some
doing
notes on
that super
his.
cool Frankenstein book.
Yes, he's doing a super cool Frankenstein book. So here,
And if I
he
recall correctly, Frankenstein's wife summoned an elder god at the end of issue 1.
I don't remember that one. But here we are. This is his first Kickstarter campaign before he was on Indiegogo. So here we are, his first Kickstarter campaign, and in his first 10 hours, he's at 3140 for 51 backers.
That's really good. Way to go,
Yeah,
Skinny.
his average backer count, it was when I figured it was like $63 average pledge. So that's
And are you involved in this campaign at all, or is this just an awesome person being successful that we're
I
celebrating?
mean, yeah, I'm promoting it.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I'm promoting it. I mean, he wrote it, but you know, I'm a promoter. What can I say?
I
Sometimes
am.
I promote things.
It is a useful life skill to have.
Yeah,
I just started building out the campaign for Cygnus Imperium issue 2.
awesome.
And actually, speak of the devil,
What?
I
It wasn't me, I swear.
was just talking on the other day about possibly finding out who his supplier was for the metal trading cards for that he did for Spirit of the Dragon, because I really like them. And
Read
I
the
think
comics.
so I think I might do that for my next campaign as the gimmicky promo stuff, because I like gimmicky promo stuff way more than I like variant covers for reasons. But that means I need to keep finding new exciting gimmicky promo stuff to do. And I've already got super awesome keychains, so the metal trading cards are a well I can go back to more than once, much more happily.
Okay, well, I mean, I'd
Skinny's
like.
blowing up with his variant covers, though.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I know I'm
I'm
going to this
still
conversation a little late. I just got in.
That's what Cygnus Imperium is all about. From a marketing experiment side of things, like obviously it's a book, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm happy to be selling it. I want people to be reading it because I think the story's awesome. As a marketing exercise, and I try to make sure, as an indie producer, that all of my projects have something I can learn from.
Mhm.
So Cygnus Imperium is my first project with a variant cover. Every issue is going to have variant covers. I'm producing them anyways
because they're pretty good, right?
Well, and then at the end of the day, we'll see if it's actually a thing I like or something I don't like in terms of my end of managing it and what I'm
But all right,
providing to my backer.
so
I think Skinny is proving my suggestion correct, that a Garvey cover is certainly worth the investment.
yes,
I mean, Skinny is definitely proving my observation correct that people really like buying things with boobs on the cover.
yes. So,
So there's a lot of possible
thank you,
lessons
Dave. Thank you so much. I hope you like the story. We will eventually get back to Lords of Iron. I have a lot of, I mean, looking at how different amounts of merch generate a big higher average backer value, which just propels the campaign. I think Skinny's gonna end up at 5 figures. I mean, he's over 3,000 in 10 hours. And it's it's because of the merch. It's because, oh, I want this cover and that cover and the wall drape and the print and the metal prints and like this. So the amount of merch drives the thing. And with Lords of Iron, I was actually trying to go with a little bit less sexy a tone. I mean, because obviously Trinity, but Katya and Lilia, I didn't want to just go over the top on them.
Just do a lesbo cover and get on with your life.
Right. But I'm saying, if there's a way I could tie Lords of Iron to a role-playing game, and so I've been reaching out into that community, but those deals take a while, and that's kind of a big thing. But my hope is that when Lords of Iron 2 comes around, it will be tied to a game and miniatures and, you know, like more stuff to drive bigger totals.
That scans.
Yeah.
Yeah, other stuff I'm looking forward towards is Cygnus Imperium is going to be my first campaign where I get to just sell back issues.
Right.
And that should really drive a lot of the engagement too, and bring in new readers. I don't want to leave anyone behind on crowdfunding.
Right. I mean, how do you mean like Cygnus Imperium too?
Yeah, so I'm going to have copies of issue 1, and I can
Right.
POD if those get oversold.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
Plus, I have all my extra variant covers and stuff like that. Like, they're going to get sold. I'm not worried.
Right.
And so it's really nice to be doing a series and it's okay to have a bit more printed when you're running a series as compared to a one shot, because you can come back to that and have more to make sure new readers are caught up.
Yes. That's why I printed so many Lords of Iron 1 and Palace. So happy with Palace.
I mean, I think Palace was just a good call regardless, considering how well it did.
Yeah. Fantasy. It's what's for dinner. I don't know what to tell you. I like fantasy. So, hello, Bit Rush Crypto. How are you? I think he's out of the Discord. But all right. So Mario said that he will not be joining us, but that we did need to read over Cygnus Imperium. No, that's a chromatic Betelgeuse algorithm. Let me pull up the Discord to see if I can get that script going. But yeah, the merch possibilities and Skinny's success is one, I think, very indicative that if you can work with good artists, variant covers are a solid investment and will reward you.
Yeah, that's a solid takeaway.
Yeah.
As I was walking in the door, my phone cha-chinged, and I sold another Garvey, one of my damaged Garvey covers on eBay.
eBay?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yep. So three of the books got, one of my Kickstarter backers package got damaged. So I replaced all of his books for him. And the books that I got back, yeah, they had some creases and some other things. So I put them on eBay, $25 each. There's one left.
Nice.
Yep. I mean, of course, if you want an undamaged book and a metal trading card with the Keith Garvey print on it, they're also on my eBay store.
I already have those things, but hopefully some of our listeners are still waiting for theirs.
All right, share screen window. There we go. All right. We are at page 1 with only 2 panels. Panel 1, we have
This is a continuation of the story. Oh,
what?
that's so exciting. I'm pretty sure this is actually a continuation of the story.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, he didn't give me much to go on here, version 4.01. But panel 1, Fubuki is sitting in a chair behind a table. Her clothing is damaged from the escape. All right, you start off with 2 passives. I want you to stop that. She shakes in her seat. Very good. She shakes in her seat as her eyes are open in paranoia.
I already told you. The Snowstorm Gang gave me that.
Mitsuha stands up in front of the table, partially irked. In the corner of the room, Naboya stands calmly observing.
Oh, come on. How do you expect me to use that? I mean, I could just get the whole gang wiped and level the city. Or
page 2, 5 panels, number 1, Mitsuha gets into Fubuki's face.
You can give me a name, and you'll be given protection, like we agreed to earlier.
Panel 2, Naboya calmly turns his head, hearing those words.
Escort officer or Mist Phantom disappear?
Mist Phantom. They already were on our tail on the way here. The name Honey Drop.
Panel 2. Fubuki begins to sweat bullets. She shakes her head violently.
I can't.
Preston, can you scroll up for a second?
More?
Okay, I thought. No. Oh, okay. There's 3 characters in this room. I got
What I think
confused.
is going on is Nobuya, who's the police chief, or something.
Yeah. No, booyah.
Okay.
Is name dropping possible drug gang leaders that we haven't met yet.
Okay, I saw a pronoun change, and I got confused because I thought there were only 2 people in this room, and I thought the character was a he and then referred to as a she.
No, that was all kind of confusing for me too. And
okay, it's just that there's 3 people in this room.
Conversations happening in front of, like, in the middle of an interrogation, but whatever. That, I guess that's a content note.
Okay. I'm sorry. Continue. So where were we? Panel 2.
Fubuki sweats bullets. I can't.
You can't, or you won't.
I don't know.
Panel 3. Mitsuha, annoyed, one eye raised in anger, slams her fist on the table.
We're trying to help you, damn it.
Calm yourself, Beetle.
Panel 4. Nobuya squats next to Fubuki. A gentle look covers his face.
I know she gets testy easily, but she is trying to help. We have a lot of people out on the field because of that thing, Missy. Look.
Panel 5. Fubuki and Nobody make eye contact.
Nobody.
Mr. Nobody!
We just want to end this quickly with as few body bags as possible. That's why we want a name.
Nobody is my name. All right, panel. Page 3. 4 panels. Number 1. Fubuki looks at the floor, avoiding eye contact with both of them.
Aster Helix. He goes by Aster Helix.
Panel 2. Mitsuha opens the main door, and a man in short-sleeved shirt and tie comes in with a portable computer deck. Panel 3. Fubuki looks up as she feels Nobuya's hand fall on her shoulder.
Thank you, Fubuki.
Panel 4. The man sits at the table across from Fubuki. He places his deck on the table as a holographic display comes on.
Yuki here will start on the relocation protection process.
Page 4, panel 1. Locker open. Mitsuha finishes taking off her uniform. Curvy is the name of the game. Jiggle is not needed, but is recommended.
I love that note.
Okay.
For a second, I was actually thinking, what game are they playing? And I'm like, oh, right.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our favorite game. Panel.
Sorry, go ahead.
She pulls up her jeans, but is startled by Nobuya's yelling.
You almost blew it in there.
She wasn't cooperating.
And you think using fear was the best way to get her to spit it out?
Panel 3. Mitsuha scoffs, annoyed.
She was nearly murdered, and that wasn't enough to get her to willingly help. Johnny's still in the hospital. 3 units barely took out 1 rogue user of that stupid swill.
And if you messed it up, all of them would have gotten hurt for nothing. Thankfully, it didn't.
Page 4. Mitsuha tenses up.
I'm not telling you not to care. I'm suggesting you try to dial it back a smidge. You caring too much in the moment will make it harder in the long run.
I get it. But if I don't push, nothing comes through. Being calm may work for you, but that's only made shit worse for me.
Panel 5. Right. Nobuya opens his locker and begins to take off his vest.
Just try to relax tonight. I mean, when's the last time you've seen Dave? Who the fuck is Dave?
I don't know.
Was he the sushi guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, I think Dave was the sushi guy.
Oh wait, is that what we're leading into? Because he did
Is
say
this
that
all a
sushi
flashback? Like, while
was
he
in the
was waiting for
middle.
sushi?
Panel
Opening with
6.
guy waiting for sushi. Flashback to gang war.
The Mitsuha now wears a t-shirt over her head. She slams her locker shut and begins to walk away.
With the t-shirt still
With
over
a
her head?
t-shirt on her head.
I mean, if that's the way they wear t-shirts in the future, I'm not going to complain.
I also want to say this is a lot of action for a panel here. She's slamming the locker shut and beginning to walk away. All right, I guess that's okay. Rushing to get out of the conversation.
Tonight, and I'm not going to keep him waiting. Oh, so that's why she's keeping the t-shirt on her head. Saves the time.
Oh, but
There you go.
this is dramatic irony because we know she kept the sushi guy waiting.
Yeah. Page 5, panel 1, Introduction Underground Casino Night. Wide shot reader's paw of Aster Helix with gelled black teal hair sits in a chair at a poker table. I like it. He has white and blue lights on his augment hands. A royal flush is spread across the table while he looks at it smugly, puffing an electric cigar.
So, technically, in a comic book, every page is the reader's point of view.
Yes, that is true.
That seems to be the nature of the proscenium arch.
Yeah.
Oh, you lose. And as we agreed, it was double or bust.
Poker has changed in the future, I see.
Well, one more time.
I take it double or bust is not poker?
That is not poker.
That's blackjack, isn't it?
Yes. I have a royal flush, double or bust, bitch. I'm like, okay then. I'll do.
Same POV as
same
panel 1, so
reader
the reader's
POV
still
as
reading.
Exactly.
Maybe the
You've
reader
already
watching the reader
wasted my
reading the
time
panel.
as it is. You said the same thing for 5 rounds this point. Now,
Panel 3, Helix stands up, a menacing shadow and augment lights outlining his face.
when should I collect the 5 million additional yen you owe me?
Author's note, about 45,000 US dollars. Woman off panel. I haven't
got it.
Oh, sorry.
Would you have it by the end of the year? Wow, that's a long time.
Maybe it's December. Who knows?
Possible.
Could be. Panel 4, a strange noise comes from Helix's hand. It can be seen as sound waves.
Helix, you have to understand. We can.
Ring. Panel 5, the view is now digitized in red and black electronic filters. On top of that, black oil sprays and covers everything. All right. I didn't expect that.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Page 6, panel 1. Helix, covered in a bit of oil, faces his hand out. A blue sickle floats towards his hand. 2 snowmen in snowstorm uniforms, like in the sewer chase in issue 3, enter. Panel 2, Helix snags the sickle. The 2 men look at Helix, worried expressions on their faces.
Took you long enough. You know the drill. Resell the good parts and harvest any organs.
Helix, we need to talk about the hit.
Panel 3, Helix shoots them a menacing glare.
You missed, didn't you?
We didn't miss. The other 2 you sent did. Before
Oh,
Combs went
convenient.
dead, they mentioned something about a cop getting involved.
Panel 4, Helix sits back down in his chair, thinking for a moment.
It's safe to assume the authorities are going to be having a field day with this. Either way, we'll need to try again to take her out and anyone else who tried to get involved.
Panel 5, close up. Helix narrows his eyes and inhales in cigar. Inhales in cigar. Okay, knowing what he has to do. Page 7, panel 5. First panel. Helix puts a bottle of liquor up from below the table. Pulls the bottle. Okay.
I'll inform Jericho after tonight's fight. It's gonna be a good one.
Panel 2. The snowmen have wary looks on their faces.
In the meantime, you two get your asses to the Golden Wing Exhibition Hall and pick up any winning bets.
Panel 3. Helix, with a glass of liquor in his hand, raises his scythe as a threat.
You won't mess up this time.
Page 8, Panel 1, Interior Golden Wing Exhibition Hall, boxing ring, wide shot. Surrounded by cheering fans, there are two MMA fighters in the ring mid-fight. Hitomi is short-haired and tanned. She is wearing a set of green sports bra and shorts. The second fighter with a side shave is wearing a set of blue sports bra and shorts. Both have different robotic augments on their arms and legs. Panel 2. The blue fighter roundhouse kicks Hitomi, who blocks it with her arms and slides back a bit. Panel 3. The blue fighter begins to fall back, losing balance. Hitomi pounces her leg, ready to knock her over. Panel 4. The blue fighter falls to the floor, and Hitomi begins to wail on her opponent's face. Panel 5. Hitomi, her tan brown skin is sweaty, has her arms pulled back by a referee. Page 9. First panel, Hitomi stands up and her opponent is KO'd on the floor. The crowd is roaring with excitement.
Winner by knockout, it.
Hitomi's face has a look of smug satisfaction as she looks around the frenzy-filled arena.
Hitomi Moita.
Panel 3. From the back of her head, Hitomi turns her head to the right. She teases Mitsuha and Dave, both cheering her on, and huge VIP passes around their necks. Artists note the VIP passes actually say VIP in fat letters. Panel 4. Hitomi's backstage room. Hitomi sits in a folding chair. She has a robe over her sports uniform. Mitsuha and Dave come in the room, leaving the door open.
You kicked major ass out there.
Didn't think I was going to make it, actually.
Thanks again for the backstage passes. Haven't been in the front row to a junk fighter match.
Page 10, 6 panels. First, Hitomi shoots a smile across her face, picking up a sports bottle.
Hope you liked the show. Couldn't let you guys down.
Panel 2, Hitomi squeezes the bottle, shooting water into her mouth.
That, and I heard a bunch of people bet against me. Wasn't going to let them make a buck off me losing.
This dialogue here sounds like I would expect a fighter to sound. Because I've spent time around like people who fight. And going back, this one line here just really did not sit with him when she said, I think I didn't think I was going to make it, actually. Like, I've never heard a winning fighter say that. Like, they're always instead going like, of course. I mean, I was always certain in my mind. The idea of you won, but wow, I really thought I was going to lose. Like that.
I mean, fighting is really dangerous. And so you got to be pretty confident you have a good chance of winning.
Right.
And you have to win in your mind before you win.
You have to win in your mind before you
agree to endanger yourself like that.
Yeah.
Right.
There are safer things to do for money. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Panel 3. The two snowmen from earlier arrive at the box office window. One is carrying a briefcase. The lady behind the window is bored and looks at them.
May I help you?
We're here to collect on behalf of Mr. Banks. I believe we bet for.
Page 4, close up. The other snowman slaps down a stub of paper. It is a ticket to pick up the winning bet payout. Panel 5. The lady widens her eyes as she looks at her screen. It says payout 40 million yen. Author's note, approximately 328,800 US dollars, approximately. Panel 6, a snowman is in the foreground looking at the teller in the background. A passerby's ears perk up when he hears the snowman speak.
I'm guessing we're going to need a bigger briefcase.
Dun dun dun! All right. You have been graced with chromatic Beetlejuice algorithm. Let's hear about it. What do you got to say?
Well, I like that we're reading something new, and
Yeah, no, this was new. It was cool.
so that's always a ton of fun with this project because it goes in weird places. I was surprised to see the person I can only assume is Sushi Man show up again, because I didn't think we'd ever see him again after the very first script of this we read, which was that was ages ago.
Yeah.
There's some solid character introductions. We've got this interrogation scene that happens. There's some sort of gang villain who plays poker with people and then threatens them while gambling on boxing matches.
Exactly.
So really, like, we've got the underworld trifecta in so few pages.
Yeah. I'm going to say for constructives, in terms of the plot, I wasn't quite sure, like, I wasn't able to follow the characters, but I liked the action. I really liked the fight stuff. I think probably I have a visceral reaction to, being around fighters and how they talk and training. And I like that scene. I emotionally connected to that scene, and that was cool. Yeah, that was my favorite part. All right, John, go.
Yeah, I liked the mobster underworld cyberpunk thing. That was very interesting. And pretty much sold on anything cyberpunk. So you kind of got that. So that always keeps me interested. You did the our classic what was the name of that movie? I can't remember. You did the co-ed locker rooms is always fun. At least I'm pretty sure that.
Calling back to Starship Troopers.
Yeah, Starship Troopers.
There you go.
Not the memorable thing about Starship Troopers.
That was like the only memorable thing about Starship Troopers.
Dude, Starship
disagree with
Troopers.
you radically.
I'm doing my part. All right, there are memorable things about Starship Troopers.
I know there's all kinds of memorable.
Click here to learn more.
So that was kind of cool. So yeah, you got lots of fun stuff.
All right, constructives. As I mentioned, the characters, and I found myself wondering, like, all right, are we picking up from another issue? Is there stuff I need to know here about these things that isn't explained exactly by the scene? But outside of the fighting, I found myself a bit disengaged in the other stuff. This is me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm off.
You say that, but it's not just you.
Yeah.
John, you were enthusiastic.
I was gonna say I was kind of confused by some of the art direction. Like I really didn't know what was supposed to be going on. Like I don't understand the thing with the scythe in the bar, and what happened to the lady, and why did everything go like retro 3D on us? I was a little confused. I mean, unless that was the woman's point of view, and he killed her, and that was what she saw. But that was kind of confusing. Because you tell us the reader's point of view, which is but you don't tell us her point of view, and I really don't understand why a dude would gamble with a girl or with anybody and let them get $45,000 in debt in one hand. Like that makes no sense. Like either the person's winning or they're not, or like at some point in time, like you're not going to collect that money. Like if the person is constantly losing, you're going into debt. You're not going to get money from them. So why do you keep wasting your time? That didn't make any sense to me. And I have no idea why the snowmen are called snowmen. I mean, are they like wearing like parkas?
I think there was a gang in the last issue.
I might have missed that. I don't know.
Right.
But it was just kind of weird, like because you call them snowmen, and I'm like, Are they walking around in parkas? Like, I'm confused. So yeah, that was my general thing, is that I was confused by some of the art. The art direction was a bit confusing.
Well, I'm going to echo what both of you guys said and say that, yeah, there was a lot that was confusing. The interrogation scene just introduces the next guy we're going to meet, and it doesn't seem to be good for anything else. We don't see a lot of. There's the police chief. There's boobs. We can have the boobs later. Like that was some cool art direction, I guess. But a really good place to start this scene would either be at the boxing match or at the gambling table, and just show us the new character instead of telling us about him. And then, yeah, like figure out whether he's being a loan shark or being a murderer. I think that's an important distinction that needs to be made. And like get us to the punching action or whatever. Like that would be fine. And I feel like we're not missing anything with that. And then gets us more of the tension. All of a sudden we've got this horrible gambler in a place. And he's a crime boss, and then our heroes are there. Oh, well, what if they catch up with each other? Like that was sort of what I was expecting, right? Like, oh, hey there, big boss man. I know you did it, but I can't prove it. But you stay on your guard. Like that's what a police officer usually does in these sorts of dramas, in this sort of scene. Whereas I was expecting like, I'm tired of your shit. You're on thin ice, McGonagall. Like thing in the police station that never happened. So following the conventions of the genre, I think the way so much focus is on the back half of this segment, just focus on that, start there, show boobs later. That's easy. Are there any more constructives, or did the guy just like babble on? Preston, you're muted.
All right, you're right. Yeah, first off, welcome Dakota to the thing. I think this is your first appearance on the writers.
Welcome.
Oh no, that's Moon.
Am I here? Yeah, I'm Moon. I think I've been
I recognize your avatar. As soon as your avatar, I didn't recognize your name, but as soon as your avatar popped up, I'm like, oh, that's Moon.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm not really on it. I have my I've been doing classwork. I have a very important schedule for me. So it's been a really busy spring term. So not a lot of like time to kind of do a lot of comic book stuff.
All right, let's see. Moon. Oh, so then we should probably take a look at your script.
Yeah.
Let's see. Entitled Comic Draft.
Yeah, I have not named it at all.
That's $1 million.
It's the same idea. I think I have another one because I already kind of had an idea for a second one. Was I called it Beyond Black Skies or something like that, but that one's like it's all concept stage at the moment. It's just a page with a bunch of ideas thrown in.
All right, so what are we going to be looking at tonight?
It's mostly just a script. It's roughly 11 pages of script.
Okay. Do we have what's the script about?
Superhero action, 1970s Vietnam.
Okay.
Like mystery, espionage, things like that. A young female hero, CIA handler, kind of like a Wonder Woman thing, kind of going with like with that, but a little bit different. I haven't thrown in a pretty idea so far. I think the last time I think you guys looked at this, I did a lot of rewrites.
Okay.
And,
yeah, it looked vaguely familiar.
Yeah. I decided to change a lot of different things, be a lot more descriptive. changed it from this weird sort of I want this and that, and more to just a narrative kind of idea to get like a feel. And I'll add later on, the idea is to add like a second page. Here's what maybe like the talk with the artist, things like that. Like here's the idea, maybe how we can set it up for what kind of shots and such.
Okay, I vaguely, I think, recall having possibly read this like 10,000 years ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. But I haven't narrated in a while, and since everyone's just been giving me Wolby scripts, could I please narrate this? Because it looks like it's written in English.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
And whoever is
Moon,
crunching
can you
or
mute
whatever-
yourself or
Moon,
do something
you're
with
like,
your audio?
yeah,
sure.
You're unwrapping something there.
Or like,
Yeah, so
move
there's
your
a
microphone
package I
farther
just
away
received,
or
so
whatever.
I understand.
sure thing.
This one guy, I had a really important meeting with my attorneys, and he was shipping books. It was pissing me off. Anyway.
Page 1, top of page, Saigon, South Vietnam, 1969. Panel 1, a busy boulevard in the city of Saigon, South Vietnam in the late 60s, specifically 1969. Is
Just
an
tell us
active...
it's 1969.
Sorry?
Say, just tell us it's 1969.
Well, I mean, and for that matter,
it's right here.
Yeah.
right here.
Also, that's a caption, which means it should probably be inside the panel. Anyways, it is an active thoroughfare with various different kinds of era-specific cars, motorbikes, and the occasional Jeep, or M113 APC of the U.S. military. It is dusk. Panel 2. Side shot of face, Diana's, focusing on the lips as she lights a cigarette from them. Flick. Panel 3. The woman, as she smokes, is resting up against a parked blue Ford Taunus 12MP4, casually taking a drag from the lit cigarette as she faced the entrance to a small bar. The bar has a large window, blinds blocking the view inside.
Hold on. I got a quick question here for Moon. Are you absolutely married to the passive voice? Like, I feel like every like I'm just counting them up here. Like is, and then has, and then has, and then is.
I think this is some of this is older stuff. So I think
we could rewrite this. Diana smokes, resting up against a park.
This
blah,
is
blah 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 blah.
All right.
And also, when you've got a character or a silhouette, just name them. They're going to be different silhouettes for different characters. If the woman's Diana, just say she's Diana. You shouldn't surprise your artist like that.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Don't surprise them.
Don't surprise the artist.
Remember,
surprise the audience.
It's a production document. It's a work order.
Okay.
Right. Save the secrets for the readers.
Yeah.
All right.
A blue and red neon open sign is hung between the two, presumably windows. I don't know. Glowing in the night. The woman, still Diana, is a fit young Hispanic woman, like the singer Selena. She wears the garb of a military reporter. Her long black hair is tied back by a knot. Preston will say many exciting things about those sentences.
Yes.
Panel 4. Diana exhales as she pulled the cigarette away, looking somewhat bored. Press is written on a badge on her left breast pocket. Buttons are undone just enough to show the crux of her breasts as a satchel's khaki strap.
Bittersweet.
To a small satchel.
I mean, I got a sentence with breasts, but it was passive. I'm like, oh, all right. He's been in there too long. He better have my.
Page 2. A Vietnamese man, Fong, is seen smashing through the window, interrupting her. He wears a white leisure suit and tan khakis. A black briefcase is in the firm grip of his hands. Smash. Panel 2. Diana is surprised by the man landing smacked out of the curb before her, eyes wide.
What the hell?
Panel 3. A brown-haired man, Green, steps out of the door of the bar, clutching his head and pointing towards Fong.
Diana, grab that bastard. He's got the case.
Panel 4. Fung draws a revolver, a cheap 38, and aims it towards Diana.
American cow.
Fung pulls the trigger. It jams. Click.
Should have
click,
bought American.
click.
Yeah.
Panel 6. Diana ducks under the revolver, Fung having thrown it right at her.
Whoa.
Page 3. Panel 1. Fung dashes away with the briefcase in hand. Green stumbling to the ground as Diana looks still surprised.
Green, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just get him.
Panel 2. Close-up of Diana's eyes. They seemed to be slit like that of a predatory cat.
With pleasure.
Panel 3. Fung is seen running down the street, pushing away onlookers as he runs away. Panel 4. Fung is almost run over by a car coming out of an alleyway. He rolls over the hood of the car roughly. Panel 5. Fung runs down the alley, the car that almost ran him over behind him and his driver shouting at him. Panel 6. Scared and frightened, Fung slams the door behind him to the warehouse hideout.
Get the guns. The Americans are coming.
Panel 7. Fung was referring to 5 other Vietnamese men inside the warehouse. It is filled with various ammunition crates and weapons. NVA flag is hanging from a wall. Lights hung from the ceiling illuminate the large room, giving it a dim light. The closest man, VC1, looks him clearly upset by Fung's sudden arrival. All of the men, save for the closest, are armed with AK-47 rifles. He himself carries a pistol. In the background, behind the assembled group of men, a feminine figure stands completely blacked out like a shadow, eyes wide and looking down upon them from a window.
You were followed, you idiot.
Page 4, panel 1. Back to the window that the figure was looking down from has disappeared, the window now left ajar. Panel 2, one of the armed men, VC5, stands with his back facing the shadows, the white eyes behind him.
I'm sorry, the American.
Panel 3, 2 arms from out of the darkness wrap around him with a silent expression of terror upon his face.
Silence. You'll jeopardize our entire operation.
Panel 4, another man, VC number 4, is pulled into the darkness, hand over his mouth. He drops his rifle. Click, clank.
Fung.
How could I have known?
Panel 5. VC1 and Fung turn their heads together to the sound of the dropped firearm.
What's that?
Page 5. Panel 1. VC number 2 and 3 fire their rifles out towards the darkness.
There, shoot them.
Panel 2. VC number 2 is kneeling down to find the body of VC number 4. He has been shot by his own compatriots.
I want to make a note here because I've seen you do this a few times. You have notes that the artist cannot draw. There's no way for the artist to draw that he was shot by his own companions. So, and
All right.
You know, like going back previously to another one, like the opened up one over here. All right, I don't want to go back to, but it was like the note of Fong, panel 7. Fong was referring to 5 other Vietnamese men inside the warehouse. There's no way to draw that. So you need to put in things that people can draw.
Okay.
The best way I do it is that I visualize what I think the panel should look like in my head, and then I write that down.
Right.
So once you think, okay, this is what the panel is going to look like. This character is standing here. This character is standing here. There's a group of these people standing there. This is what I want you to do.
So really just describe the panel and what's going to
Yes.
be in it
Yeah.
instead of what's
Yes.
It's
fully
a work
going
order,
on.
not a novel.
Yes.
Okay.
Like from out of the panel, where is Huang? Like someone is saying that.
Yeah.
So that should have, a speaker tag, even if it's not there. So because you, the writer, should know who's speaking, or the illustrator might actually put that character closer to that panel border so you can have the tail of the balloon cross over, or something.
Okay.
Right?
Or they'll draw a character to say it.
Yes.
Because I've had that happen. Even when I've said this line is supposed to be off screen, they still will draw that character in the panel.
I see.
Yeah, like that's an unrelated art problem.
But yes, that could be a thing where they'll just draw the character in there. So
yeah, and a sort of another note here: you've named all these characters, but you haven't named them in the art direction. Who's Bing? Who's Huang? Well, I mean, all of a sudden, if you've given these people names, then your illustrator can like give them some personality, like a pirate gang or whatever, with different eye patches and shit. That's not going to happen when they're VC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
It's going to be
Yeah.
way more generic.
They're going to be video game NPCs.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but you're not going to get anything better than that unless you try.
Right.
Anyways, panel 3.
Yeah,
VC number 3.
it's very rare that the artist puts more elaboration than the writer, so.
Well, the Steve Ditko, Stan Lee stuff. I want to try not to be a Stan Lee in this.
I understand, but
yeah.
That was a pretty special situation where you had Stan Lee, who was really good at promoting and putting together contracts, particularly contracts that he did well under, with some really good, very talented, very creative people. And
that he worked in the same building as, in case anyone had a question.
Right.
Yes.
And Stan Lee felt very comfortable telling these people, like, oh, you remember that thing we were talking about? Or because, like stuff like Fantastic Four, like that was like Ditko's idea for like another superhero team. And Stan Lee was just referring to it, and he just made it the Fantastic Four and got credit for it. And that was cool. But, he was able to refer to Ditko, who, had a pretty intimate knowledge of these characters. And, Stan could go, okay, I want an episode where Dr. Doom comes in and he's tearing up the place until, and then, Ditko would just go off and do it. That's not how I recommend anybody make comics. So,
I understand that.
Okay.
Panel 3, VC number 3 is hit on the head with a wrench, thrown from out of the darkness. Thump. Panel 4. Number 3 has fallen to his knees, disoriented after being struck by the wrench. Rifle falling down at his side. Number 2 stands alarmed as he comes up to him. The shadowy figure comes up from behind him, jumping up onto a table. Once again, these people have names, dude.
God. Oh.
Well, you can do better, Preston. Come on.
I'll probably make sure they have names.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
they don't have
more
names.
special.
They evidently have names. They're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My general rule of thumb, and Danny can attest to this, he's seen pages from Angel of Darkness too, is that I don't typically give my red shirts names. So if they all look like NPCs and they're only distinguishable based on their clothes, I'm generally okay with that, because so you may not want to necessarily give them names if these people never show up again and they're just, thugs to be Batmaned into the darkness, because that seems what you're doing here. Then they may not necessarily need names.
They don't need names.
Okay.
There's a lot of talking, though. Someone says, Lee, behind you.
What?
Panel 5. Lee, VC2. See, then now...
No.
That's again. Fuck's sake. Lee is struck on the face by a kick as he turns around. Black. Page 6, panel 1. VC1, still unnamed, panicked. He tries to pull out his pistol.
Stand back, devil!
Panel 2. Lee, VC2, is thrown into VC1, knocking them down. Panel 3. The shadowy figure reveals herself as they walk out of the shadows into the dim light. It is Diana. Eyes like a cat, the same as earlier. Almost sinister-like.
I'm assuming also in that part, I should really just say it's
Diana.
clear as Lee who it is instead of just hiding it from
Again,
my
Diana's got her own
artists.
silhouette. That's going to be the entire scene, though. Right? So
I see.
Diana is the shadow. Get it?
Yeah,
The
just,
shadow.
the artist. I'm already seeing right now. Try not to hide things from my artist, and make it so he clearly understands what the heck's going to be going on.
Diana in shadow does this. Diana in shadow
Yes.
does this.
I can understand
In shadow
that.
form. Like you can come up with a name for this like, shadow form. So
Right.
Diana in shadow form,
Shadow, whatever it is.
because then he can draw Diana's silhouette. So the shadow form has all of her curves. It's got her boobs, whatever it is that you want to be visible in her shadow form. So the shadow, Diana in shadow
the
form.
shadow didn't have any boobs.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how you want. It depends on him and how he wants the shadow to look. He doesn't say he's a shadowy figure. So what kind of figure? What's the figure look like? What kind of figure is it taking?
Yeah, I'm starting to see it because then it could be any. How I've kind of written it is entirely too vague.
A shadowy goat reveals herself as they walk.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm definitely seeing that now. That it definitely doesn't make any sense. It makes more sense, yeah. I
feel
like a
this is one of the
narrative
things that
tone.
you learn once you beat into production and you see how things go horribly, horribly wrong. If you
Oh yes, yeah. When you give this to your artist and you get something back that you're like, I have what? Wait, what? And then you have to sit down and then re-explain what every panel is supposed to actually look like.
Yeah,
And then you
then it's
realize I
like,
could have just done that the first time around.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the worst part is you might have to pay double for that, depending on how cheap your artist is, and you literally got what you asked for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely utterly vague.
Yeah.
I see.
A menacing aura around her as if she were barely human. So I'll rewrite this for you. Diana steps out of the shadows, cat-like eyes with a sinister look. A menacing aura is around her. That makes her look.
What's a menacing aura look like, though?
I mean, sure, but a menacing aura is drawable.
I'm sorry, but I'm
there's menacing from JoJo just fluttering around.
Draw go like everywhere. I'm behind this hundo.
Yeah,
just
also like high five for JoJo references.
Yeah,
that you can even do that. Like you could say the menacing aura like such and such a thing. I don't know what JoJo is, so a menacing aura like JoJo around her, and then you can include a photograph of what it is that it looks like to the artist, and then the artist is like, "Oh, okay, I know what to do," and then they'll draw it.
I see.
Diana has a line, Preston.
Yes, and I was about to say, I'm very much a veteran of the OJ trial because I want Diana to say, "How about that, Mr. Fung?" But instead, she says, "Well, Mr. Fung, you sure know how to treat a girl to a night on the town."
Panel 4. Fung looks down to VC1. He had dropped his pistol as he lays knocked on the ground. He is clutching his briefcase to his chest, frightened.
Eyes up here, Mr. Fung. Now hand over the briefcase before I start to lose my patience. I don't have all night.
Panel 5. The door behind him cracks open. Fung not noticing as he is visibly sweating. Does sweating make you not notice things?
I don't know. The sweat is in his eyes, perhaps.
Okay. I'll buy it.
I need a Fung.
Oh, just what the hell are you?
Panel 6. The butt of a gun smacks Fung's head from behind from unseen assailant, who is green. Panel 7.
Hello.
I see.
You there,
Did we
Danny?
lose it, Danny?
I think we may have lost Danny.
I'll go. I'll go
It's
until he
another
comes back.
instance I've just realized it's the same thing. The unseen assailant shouldn't be at all. I'm seeing it in real time, that where it's, yeah, I should have just wrote who exactly it is, because it's no use. I'm not.
Well, so it depends on whether or not we see the assailant or not. Do we just see the butt of a rifle hitting him in the head? Then you say the butt of a rifle smacks him in the head. Then we can cut to the next page where Green stands behind the now crumpled Fong. Or do we see the back of Green smacking him in the head? That's what you'll have to decide. Because we don't necessarily have to see him. You just need to tell us what we do see.
I think I just phased out for a little bit because I wasn't hearing half of it. I'm sorry. The thing went out. Were you talking about?
I said don't. I was saying don't. I was saying don't show us what we don't see. Show us what we do see. So either we don't have to see anybody, and we just see the butt of the rifle hitting him in the head. Then say the butt of a rifle hits him in the head. Or we can see Green hitting him in the head. Green standing behind him strikes him in the head with the butt of a rifle.
Yeah, I think I was trying to say that, and I think it cut off. I'm slowly realizing it in real time that I'm writing as if I'm writing to the reader when I'm writing to the person that's going to be co-doing this and shouldn't be hiding all this information.
That's what Danny's been saying the whole time.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm slowly realizing that as an issue where I've taken far too much of this weird narrative approach to writing it instead of just going, here's what it is, here's what's happening, just be completely open about what's going on.
Yeah, unless you have a super reason why you don't want, but really most of this stuff is not even that necessary.
And whatever you think the reason to not do that is probably bad, and you should do it anyways.
I mean, unless you're going to make Diana the bad guy and that's going to be revealed in issue 5, you don't need to tell us that now in issue 1. But you're not. But in your story, if Green is doing something on page 6 and he's revealed to be Green on page 7, then just tell us it's Green on page 6. I mean, that's not a...
Yeah, because the reader is...
so where were we?
The reader's not going to be writing.
We haven't done anything because we just started chatting.
Yeah. The reader's not going to be reading all these notes, so why should I be hiding anything?
Right.
Essentially. Yes, I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
My internet dead again.
Danny, panel 1.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, my internet is super sketch, and I'm working off hotspot right now. Green stands behind the now crumpled Fong. He's being knocked out from the butt of Green's firearm, a .45 caliber pistol. He wears a smile upon his face.
I would also say that when he gets hit, describe the gun when he's being hit so the artist knows what to hit him with.
Yeah, ahead of time. I'm realizing that's like information that should be...
Because I was describing the butt of a rifle, and it's actually the butt of a pistol.
Yeah, it's a pistol.
Perfect example.
Sorry, Miss Arache. He had gotten the drop on me at the bar before he ran. Are you all right? I'm fine. Took worse hits back in 51. Check the briefcase for me, will you? We need to get out of here before the cops come. John, why don't you take over Green?
Okay. I don't know why you started doing Green in the first place.
I felt like it. Panel 2.
Diana checks the briefcase on a nearby table, unlatching it and looking through its contents. She doesn't seem to know what she is doing.
What am I looking for here, Green?
Photos. Anything Russian. SOG has a hot lead recently on Intel. Believe they found a link to some new campaign. After the mauling the NVA and COGS got last year. You'd think they'd...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You'd think they'd take a break.
Panel 3. Diana's hands go over one file with Chinese characters.
What's this about?
No, Chinese aren't friends with the North no more. Wait, what? Okay. We still take it for translation, however.
Panel 4. Green lights a cigarette, taking a drag before he speaks again, before speaking up again.
All
That
right,
is a
and
lot of verbs for one
yeah.
character in one panel.
and I want to say,
Yeah, that's a jumble word.
yeah. I want to say,
Word salad. What kind of dressing do you want with that word salad?
yeah. I would encourage you to research a little bit about kanji lettering, because I believe while Vietnamese and Mandarin and Cantonese are different spoken languages, they're all refer to the same alphabet. So I don't know if there's such a thing as really Chinese characters.
I mean, that actually scans to me, although mainland Chinese would be one way to be more specific. The Vietnamese language refers to Chinese characters, but it's written in Latin letters ever since.
Okay.
Vietnam was French Indochina. That's why
I
Vietnamese
see.
is the Latin alphabet.
Okay.
With a ton of
Yes,
diacritical
yes.
marks.
All right.
Vietnamese does use the Latin alphabet.
But it does refer to Chinese letters. Like it's still a Chinese-ish language. So yeah, just weird historical stuff. Panel 5? Yes, panel 5. Having closed the briefcase and taking it with her under Green's direction out of the warehouse and into an alleyway. That is not a sentence.
That is not a panel. That is like 3 panels.
Yeah.
All right, John.
Sirens, let's hurry up. I want to catch a flight out of here.
We aren't going to the embassy?
No, High Up wanted us to go straight away to the consulate in Osaka. Get us a safe house set up as well.
Panel 6. The two enter the car with Green at the wheel, Diana in the passenger seat at his side, shutting the door.
You never tell me anything.
Police sirens! Sorry. Whoop, whoop. There we go. That's a sentence.
There we go.
Panel 7. A private jet lands as the morning sun rises.
I don't have to.
Page 8, top of page, outside of Osaka. Once again, location captions go inside panels. Panel 1. 2 suited men, one with Colt Commando and the other with an Uzi, stands at the gate of a private estate. A Japanese mansion stands away a distance back behind them. Page 9. Panel 1. A well-furnished room inside the mansion stands Green. It does stand green. Resting back up against a wood wall. He is dressed in a black suit and red tie, a whiskey glass in his hand. Meanwhile, with her feet up on the table and reading or attempting to do so with a Japanese manga magazine reclined on a sofa. Full stop. Her hair is undone now, flowing out to a mid-length at her shoulders. A floral blouse and blue bell-bottoms, wearing flat-heeled shoes. Is Diana.
How do you read that junk?
I don't. I like the pictures.
Panel 2. Green lifts his glass to his lips to take a drink, one eye open towards Diana, who apparently is in this seat.
Then how can you tell what's going on?
Panel 3. Diana looks back towards him. It's clear she is reading a page from the Abashiri family, a Go Nagai manga. Cool. And you're making your illustrator draw someone else's.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
manga.
copyright
That's
infringement
really
right there.
Yeah.
You're
maybe
right.
like the cover or something like
You can
title.
show covers. You can show covers.
Show a title.
Yeah. You're right. I don't have the slightest idea.
Panel 4. Diana looks up to the ceiling, crossing her slender legs. The magazine is still open in her hands.
Can't a girl have some fun with the foreign funny books?
Panel 5. Green rolls his eyes.
Baby, you should have finished high school.
Whatever.
Page 10. Diana looks fully back to Green, pointing a finger from her seat.
Hey, don't you speak Japanese?
No, I don't. I speak.
Panel 2. A man in a suit steps through the door. Sorry, a door. Okay. Somewhere, a man in a suit steps in through a door. He wears a brown pinstripe suit with a tan tie. His shoes are black. He straightens his tie with a warm smile. A head of neat, combed brown hair rests atop his head with a slight sign of gray. He has 3 hands. 1 to hold the door, 2 to straighten his tie.
All right, John.
Top of the morning to y'all, Mr. Green, Mr. Alvarez. I hope your mission went well. My techs have handed it off to intelligence here and should be able to get it over to Washington soon enough.
Panel 3. Diana looks back to her magazine, looking uninterested, nearly burying herself in it to avoid eye contact.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Panel 4. McGuire, who was a person who was in the scene, seats himself behind a large oak desk, his name on a plate in front of him as Director Nathaniel O. McGuire. Oh, they're in his office? Okay. His hands clasped together as speaks to Green and Diana. He doesn't appear at all annoyed at Diana's comments.
I can say very much the same for you, Miss Alvarez. Green wrote a good report about you, but you are still on parole with us. A hefty debt to repay, after all.
Don't remind me.
Panel 5. McGuire smiles, a professional look upon his face.
Your talents are very much appreciated, Miss Alvarez. It would have been a shame if you were to have been put away as you rightfully should. There are just some things that those of heroic nature just can't do.
Panel 6. Diana is upset by this, her eyes looking up from her book as if to sneer at him. They appear cat-like, predatory, appearing just as before.
Oh, shit. Oh, stuff is about to go down with the predatory looks. Okay. There we go. That's 10 pages. All right. John, get us started off. What do you think?
So superhero spy stuff is cool. I like that. Sexy cat lady is always fun. Yeah, color me intrigued.
Despite all of the complaining, none of the complaining was actually about your story,
Thank you.
which is actually quite good and starts off pretty well, gets into the action really quickly, and clearly has the mood front and center. So I think you did that really quite well, and that still came through despite your writing. Sorry, that was a crit.
Thank you.
I mean, we got action woman Diane springing into action, taking on. Did she take on like 5 VCs or no? That was Green or somebody or.
She took on the 5. Green knocked out the one guy at the end.
Okay, so she single-handedly taken on 5 fully armed AK-47 wielding Viet Congs and dispatched them handily. So clearly we got super duper Cold War Vietnam espionage cranked up. We got the CIA involved. Some stuff's going to go down, and I can already tell a lot of people are going to die, and Diana's probably going to kill a bunch of them. And with that predatory look, it might even be her boss. Who knows? There we go.
That would be a great page 11.
That would be. Diane kills it. All right, Danny. Do you want to? Okay, constructives.
Yeah, like the writing, obviously.
Right.
So I'm not going to belabor that point. Some of the dialogue's kind of stilted, and I suspect some of the pacing isn't going to work the way you think it might, depending on how you want stuff to be drawn. I'm thinking particularly about the warehouse scene with the VCs. It might be worth sketching that out and seeing if you can do it in fewer panels, or just having people in the background, or like whatever. Because there's not really an establishing shot, and it seems like there's not a lot of room to have an establishing shot. And I have very recently worked with one of John's books that has like a run and gun scene in 6 panels per page, and it gets tight and it's hard to really show what the characters are doing in a way that looks cool while also placing them in the location very
Okay.
effectively that way. So there might be a way to do that more efficiently. And I would try and use fewer panels and action scenes to give your illustrator more opportunities to make the action look really badass.
Yeah, I would add to that I'm not sure if you need all of those pages and panels. Like, we do get the establishing shot when the dude runs into the warehouse, and we see the 5 guys standing there with their AK-47s. I kind of feel like you could take all 5 of them out on one page. Just do a panel for each one. You know, boom. Panel 1, this guy's gone. Panel 2, this guy's gone. Panel 3, this guy's gone. Panel 4, this guy's gone. And then you can do your reveal where she goes after the main guy.
And that would be a very Batman scene.
Yes, because it kind of felt like you were doing a bit of a Batman thing there, but I felt like it kind of got a little lost, you know.
Yeah.
So I think less would be more for something like that.
I see. Because I had the idea of there is a Batman book from I think the 1970s that Steve Ditko. It's the only Steve Ditko book. It's the only Steve Ditko Batman he ever drew, and I think it's like one with the Man Bat or something. And he's like one of the first people to draw him, where Batman's like black silhouetted. It's only just his eyes, kind of. And it's a really cool like idea, and that was kind of like the impetus for that. So I kind of see what you're doing. That would probably make it a lot better.
I mean, if we're doing that, we have like 1 page of action and a whole lot of watching our girl read comics. I don't know if that's ideal, but there's got to be other ways to piece this out.
Yeah.
As I said, that's a idea. It doesn't have to be the idea. The other thing that jumped out at me, and I didn't say it, was we said a lot while we were reading, but there was one thing I didn't say is you did a location change, and a major location change, halfway through a page. And I don't know if that's the best way to handle that, or it might be better to, because basically the last panel, the airplane is landing, and then we're in the office, and I kind of feel like, and then that next page only had 1 or 2 panels on it, so I kind of feel like you should have the plane land on that following page.
Yeah,
I don't see why that had to be on that previous page.
Maybe put like take that response dialogue and stuff like that. Just give it almost like a larger panel to give it more context as like I guess like kind of like a lead into that next page instead of just this little blurb that really is kind of off.
Yeah. One of the things that I picked up when I was writing screenplays, and it's a rule of screenwriting, is that if a scene does not advance the plot or develop character, cut it. It doesn't have to be there, basically. And I kind of, when I'm writing scenes in my comics, I kind of keep that in mind as well. Like, I don't get the point with the captain. Like, the captain says something, and I have no idea what the point of that is.
I see.
So, why is he even there? Why is he a character? The other rule, at least in screenwriting, is that if your character is not in any danger, then there's no drama in the scene. That's one of the reasons why I would recommend having her take out the 5 Viet Congs on 1 page, because we're not really in any danger that something is going to happen to her. So it's not, and she's super powered, so she's definitely OP to them. Like, the comic that Danny was referencing when I did the fight scene, the reason why, and I know it did get a little confusing. I was a little confused to it too, and I think so was my artist, but that's neither here nor there. The reason why I spent like 3 or 4 pages, 6 panels a page, was to establish that she was underpowered and she barely got out of the fight alive. That was at least what I was trying to accomplish with those pages. With your character, because she's superpowered, we don't really fear for her safety. So that's just something to consider, that like, unless she's going after somebody who is of her power level or higher, we know that nothing's going to happen to her.
Mm-hmm.
I love the scene in Mad Max Fury Road, when they're finally, when they stop the truck, and it was not the Proud Boys. What were they called? Anyway, the bad guys basically found them, and Max says to the ladies, he says, "Stay here, I'll be right back," or something like that. And then he walks into the fog. We hear a scuffle for like 30 seconds, and then Max walks back out. And I always took that as a good example of skipping a fight scene where your main character is nothing is going to happen to your main character.
Yeah, there's no threat to them because they're
right.
They're very.
If they choreographed that scene in Mad Max Fury Road, it would have been absolutely boring, because he would have went, beat up 3 guys, and returned.
Yeah.
Instead,
so something like
he walks into a fog, we hear a scuffle, and 30 seconds later he's back. So just things to think about when you're writing it. What you're, because your audience is not dumb, and they're going to
they're going to draw a conclusion.
Right. So
yeah. Maybe then, to keep the action at least, maybe lengthen maybe a little bit the chase itself. Maybe put in an idea that, hey, she might lose him or something like that.
That would be good.
You could do something like that. If you do a chase scene, just remember to keep your locations interesting. Spirit of the Dragon 2, I do a chase scene that goes for 2 or 3 pages, and we go from an alley to up a fire escape to through an apartment to down a stairwell to through another apartment and then out a window.
Okay.
So, like, if it's just running down the street and every street looks exactly the same, again, boring. So you'll have to, so you can lengthen the street chase, just keep the art visuals interesting.
Okay.
All right. Any more notes?
I mean, I think we've given him so many. There's no point.
I think we've given a lot. Yeah.
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 A little note overload on this one.
There you
So
go.
remember, this is the
wanna-
context. If you have a perfectly good story and our notes are largely, to help you improve as a storyteller and to make sure that the script is drawable and producible. So
Yeah, I've been
place
writing some notes into my in my Libra notepad just to try to keep track of them. So
Awesome.
So thank you. I thought maybe even put maybe that before going in, that the fact that it's like the action kind of is like the hero's not much danger. Maybe even have her say something along the lines of maybe her talents are being misused or something like that, or whatever kind of thing, kind of like a lead up.
Yeah, maybe she's got time to learn Japanese so she can read that manga properly.
Maybe.
I see.
All right. Next up, we have a script from
Thank you.
BitRush Crypto.
Is he going to join us?
No.
He's in the chat. I saw him in the chat.
He just chatted.
He said,
Yeah.
good, I can't join tonight. Maybe next week.
Oh, we're going to have to wait to save his script then.
I think we might.
All right, fair enough. All right. Now, next week, I'm going to be... So it can't be next week then, because I'm going to Cleveland for Fan Expo Cleveland. I'm going to drive up, visit a friend, and all that stuff. So, but the following week we could do. So 2 weeks from now, if you want, we can look at the script then. How's that?
Sure, sounds good.
All right.
Well,
Yeah,
ask him if he's available in 2 weeks.
Well, he's not here right now, but
I mean, he was in the chat.
he,
Sorry.
okay.
All right, I'll shut up now.
All right. Cool. All right. So then we'll take his script in 2 weeks then. Meanwhile, hey, back Otis Stein #2 on Kickstarter. Hooray. And I'll see everybody in a couple weeks then. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for the input. It's really helped. It's going to help a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.